All right, gang. Welcome back to another Wake Up Humans episode. Myself and Dr. Drew Henderson. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. It's a great day up here in Maryville. We love loving our people. We love taking care of people, and I know you do too down in Venice, Florida.
I'll tell you what, man. It's today was a great day, bro. We had a record week last week, and it's not what I'm used to, but we're getting to where we need to go.
Yeah,
And the
and
people are on board and fired up, so it's a blessing.
yeah, and it's tiresome, but it sure is good to be in the trenches.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it feels so good just to like trying to get the unlock to get to the next level.
yeah.
You know,
I've had some amazing, I don't know, aha moments, thoughts, ideas coming through since doing this experience. I think doing it in Connecticut for so long, it's a beautiful practice up there, man. I miss it. I was talking to him the other day. I got choked up, but it's
yeah.
almost like God pulled me out for a reason. They're doing amazing up there. They had just had an amazing day today. They had like 10 people at the orientation. Like they're doing amazing. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, and it's really, you start to think about it, just like Dynamic Essentials is bigger than Dr. Sid E. Williams and Dr. Nell K. Williams because after they passed, it's still going.
Yes.
JFC, LFC are bigger than you because you have done the training, you put in the work, you created the system, and then
Mhm.
if you follow that, people can run it.
And I've had this awareness too that it's people have to follow the system. The system works. And I think sometimes people's ego can get involved or more their emotions, from their past. It's like, well, I could do this, I could do it my way, but their way hasn't been tested. It hasn't been tested for over 25 years. So why change the formula?
Yeah, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to. I guess you've been watching the Olympics a little. They just started. I love the Winter Olympics better than the Summer Olympics.
Do you? How come?
I love it. And I swear, I think I could probably do the ski jump. I
I
just
paid
think I
money to
could.
see that.
I couldn't do the figure skating, but I could
Huh?
do that ski jump at least once. I could do it once.
Hey,
And
what's that?
then,
What's that movie with Will Ferrell doing the figure skating? That would be you.
no, no, I'm just knees and elbows. That'd be horrible. But like they've done this ski jump mainly the same way forever. Like they have a system. They're working the ski jump. This is what you do. And like we were talking earlier, people just don't accidentally become an Olympian. It's not just an accident that you have a great, thriving, growing practice. It takes work, it takes discipline. And that's where we're at. We're still putting in the work, we're still doing the discipline.
Right, right. I've been seeing these reels where they're giving these kids in an Olympic Village are giving tours of their living quarters, and they're excited of their little space they're in. And you think about what it took for them to be the chosen one to go and represent in that Olympic Village. It's amazing to think that, what were they doing at 10 years old? And then the training that they put in thousands of hours to be able to put on that uniform in Italy representing a country is insane.
Yeah, and thousands of hours to shave off two thousandths of a second.
Right.
It's
And they're
just
all
like,
under chiropractic care. Chiropractic's a huge part of the formula in Olympic Village. I mean, there's chiropractors taking care of these people every single day because the milliseconds can mean the difference between a gold and fourth place.
I know, or further, and it's mind blowing the dedication they have. And
Yeah.
the Olympics are the highest expression of human potential.
Right.
Chiropractic is the highest expression of trusting the body to do what it
Yeah.
needs to do. And both of those require long term obedience in the same direction.
Right. Right.
That's just what it is.
And it's making me realize when I was younger at DE, well, you and I will share pictures with Eddie and Brian with the early days when we took over DE and we were running the AV.
Oh
I
my
was running around
gosh.
emceeing all weekend. You guys were running the playlist and the music and we were figuring it out. But we had the heart and the fire because we wanted one thing, we wanted the best. for the
Yep.
profession. And these kids now with their coaches who were getting up at 4 in the morning and training for 12 hours, 15 hours a day, eating right, while their friends were going off partying and doing all these different things, they committed.
Yep. And when and you even said past tense, like we had the passion. We still do. We still do. Like we're still like I don't ever I gotta save like some of our group text. I don't ever want to lose some of those. So
Right.
many gems in those group text, and then when something does happen, it's not that we don't rise to the occasion. We just fall back to our training, the
Right.
training that we've done. We fall back
Right.
on that because that won't fail us.
I think it's the passion stays the same and changes, but it's almost like, we had a guy called I talked to on the phone the other day, and he came in with Bell's palsy, and after two adjustments, it was gone, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like, awesome. I'll see you when you get back from he was away on vacation in another state. So I've got a new doc in the office I'm training, and she's young, fresh out of school. And I said, he's doing great. His Bell's palsy is gone. And, his history was it would last 6 to 7 months. He would get it every couple of years. It was devastating. He's drooling, can't speak. And I said, yeah, it's all gone. He'll be back when he gets back. He's on business. And her eyes opened up. She was like, what? Wait a minute. I'm like, yeah, Bell's palsy. She goes, that, like, I've heard stories, but now she's seeing it firsthand. So when you're in the grind, and when I say when we were younger, and the passion and the building, like the building of it, the grind, the hard
Yeah.
work, then you become successful in people's eyes, and they come and hang out with you, and they're like, oh, I want this. But they're
Hmm.
missing the beginning, they're missing the start. And I've been thinking a lot about this because there's a really cool, I know a lot of people don't want to watch Netflix because they think it's part of the woke movement. I watch it and I watch what I want to watch. And I just watched I sent it to you, the
Uh-huh.
new documentary on the 1980s Olympics, the American hockey team. And they bring in a bunch of the old players, Ruzioni and Murrow, and these guys come and they're at the rink that they played in 40 something years ago, and they're
Hmm.
watching replays, and they're part of this movie, and they're seeing themselves over 40 years ago and their fire and vigor and going through that moment. It's really cool. Everybody should watch it. But it's got me thinking now when I was, 30 something years old in practice, starting out with nothing, a baby girl at home. We had no money and we had no patience in what we had to do.
Yep.
It's just difference once you kind of get there, but then have to step away and do it all over again almost 30 years later is interesting, buddy.
It is. It is. And just that that work ethic and just always being ready to get to work.
Yeah,
I love a Monday. We say over and over, Monday's the best day of the week.
yeah, yeah.
Monday's best day of the week. I was talking to um, a buddy of mine. He's coming in the office, usually the last one because he's working all the time. He does logistics for tractor trailers, and he watches these. So talking about you, Chris, not his real name, right? HIPAA. But I asked him, I'm like, dude, if you could not do what you're doing, what would you do? He's like, I would get antique cars, hot rods, flip them. That's what I would do. And his wife's like, or he asked, like, what would I do? And his wife's like, he would do exactly what he's doing. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
If I had $500 million in the bank, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like what else am I going to do? This is
yeah.
it. This is what I want to do.
Hey,
And
it's true.
and it don't matter about, I mean, it does matter. We need to be viable, but not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for the applause, and you're not either. It's just what we're born to do. This is it. I've
This
got
is
one
it.
life, and it's going to be this.
Well, the outcome is transforming people's lives. I mean, that's the biggest gratification, it's like we don't heal anybody. And to be able to, I had a guy today, he returned. He hasn't been in quite a while. And his innate had him walk in today, right? And so we reconnect. I do a re-exam on him just to kind of sit him down and learn about him. And I said, look, I'm not going to heal anything. God does the healing. Like your body's designed by a greater. And he smiles. He says, I'm a pastor. And I said, no, I really don't know you yet. And he said, I knew I needed to come here today. I was driving and there was a voice in my head that said, go back. He goes, and I didn't know why, but he's here. He's in it, you
Yep.
know? And what a dynamic personality. But it's like, when you're connected and you're on purpose, and going to DE this time for me, I learned a lot. And having the resources of, because I'm not gonna lie, I went into DE pretty tired, mentally beat up, You know, people were like, "You look tired." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm working, man." And now I'm working at the E, but it was like listening to these speakers and these young guns and hearing their growth. It's like it's all worth it. It's all worth it. And you hear them throwing the word around, we're family," and I'm like, I don't know if I want them to be my family,
Hmm.
but they're my tribe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're my tribe. And to be able to go back in there and just sit in the room and listen to speaker after speaker and then go back and apply it last week with the energy and the vigor, especially having Dr. Christie there. It was her first TE. And
Hmm.
she's like, I get it. And the vision, understanding the vision and where we're coming from as principal chiropractors, and then having our busiest week. And this week is starting off better than last week.
Hmm.
It's a constant battle, but a joyful one to grow every day. So at the end of the week, you did better than the week before, which means we're serving more people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's all about the service. You know,
Yeah,
we have to see more people. That's the crux of everything that we do. We
yeah,
have to see the people.
that's
If we're
right.
not seeing the people, they're staying subluxated.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And
and
you got minutes to perform. If you're disconnected and don't give a great adjustment and your
mhm,
communication is off, they walk out that door, you're never going to see them again. It's like these Olympic athletes training for years, right?
yeah,
For an event that's going to take what, a couple minutes.
yeah,
A
if
couple
that,
minutes.
if that, and it's just years of their life trained for that extra half second,
That's right. That's
that
right.
extra half second.
And there's some, dude, there's some you watch, you know, the Vaughn girl
Uh huh.
who, you know, Sierra just tore her ACL and had surgery. And here's this girl in her 40s, one of the greatest downhill skiers of all time, tears her ACL a week and a half ago. And she's like, I'm still going to do it. And people are like, she's crazy. She's not crazy.
Yeah.
She's just there. Like, I'm here for one thing and brace me up. And then the poor girl wipes out. She didn't fail. She still gave it 110% and was committed.
And if she didn't do it, she would always question herself.
Right. Nothing worse than that.
Oh, man, and to hear her, like you probably seen the video, you could hear her screaming how bad it hurt. It's just like, oh, just go help that poor girl.
Yeah.
Just go help her.
You know, I haven't seen it. I don't watch TV, and I've been really just, I mean, I've been just focused on one freaking thing, but I've
Hmm.
heard people talk about it. And I was out to lunch with someone, and they said, oh, what's it? Is it Lindsey Vaughn?
Yeah, yeah, Lindsay.
Just got airlifted. And I was like, oh my Lord. And then the story came out, and people told me what happened. I'm like, good for her, man. Like,
Yeah,
she's a legend. That young lady is a freaking legend.
yeah, and she went out like she probably won't ski competitively again. I don't really know, but she went out doing. She was at the pinnacle. She was at the top.
She went out her way.
Yep,
She
yep,
went out her
and
way.
yeah, it's and I would, there's a Aussie, not a Aussie. There's a maybe Alice Cooper said that I would rather just go out like that than just fade away.
Oh, is it Leonard
You don't
Skinner or
want to just
someone?
fade away.
Who wrote the song? I'd rather you to burn out than fade away. Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We've been
Yep.
working all day. I think we're a little mentally tired. Uh, yeah, man, grind it and burn it.
Mm.
You know. And I'm blessed. You know, it's like we got enough people around us that I got people like today. I'm doing a fast all day. You know, some people recognize that. Listen, you gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself. Which you do the best you can. I've learned about myself. I'll let myself kind of burn, but I'm gonna take care of everybody else, kind of deal.
Yeah, but we can't pour out of an empty cup.
It's such a huge principle, bro.
We can't pour out of an empty cup. Like this evening, I got adjusted. I got adjusted this evening after
Yeah,
work. Like
yeah,
I'm good. You know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it was a busy, slam day. I was like, oh my gosh, I just need to make sure I'm clear. You know,
Right.
and
And the
even
guy,
talking about training years ago, we don't know when training will pay off. And it pays off every day. But come up to Connecticut, done. Excuse me, your and Eddie's knee chest thing, teaching for knee chest. Lady comes in, been to other chiropractors, all the stuff, not getting better. She had tic douloureux, just like, they call it suicide's disease.
trigeminal
Trigeminal
neuralgia.
neuralgia.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's a tough one.
it is. And she just like, oh, she was feeling rough. That's bad. And I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, lay down, turn your head this way. Boom, lit her up. That night she texted me, she like, listen, and she's older than me. She like, if I was a younger woman, I would be asking you to marry me. This is gone. I'm fine, I'm better. And she hasn't looked back. And she's came at least once a week since then. And that was probably 12 years ago, 14 years ago.
But you had to jump on an airplane, take time out of your private life to go learn and train on something new to be prepared for that moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's almost like once you're prepared, I really feel like once you're prepared, God opens up the floodgates and sends you his people.
Yep, yep. And I could have toggled her. I don't know why I didn't. It was one of my first real knee chest adjustments after going through that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is what she needs.
And you
This
had
is
the
what we're
confidence
doing.
to do it.
Yep, because
Yeah, man.
because I had put in the training from you and Eddie for weeks and weeks before that. You know, being up there in your office, just bang, 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 like way. And it's not just the thrust; it's the way you move your hips and your low back and your lumbar's got to extend all that at once. You know, it's not just, oh well, a monkey can do that. There's a lot going into that.
Yeah, a
A
lot,
lot going into that.
a lot. It's
So
beautiful
thank you,
adjustment.
and I know that she thanks you for helping train me in that because she's her life is different.
Yeah, it's a blessing. I never heard that story, bro. That's a great
Yeah,
story.
and
It's a
that's the
great
thing. We
story.
got all these stories, but we get so blasé to them.
We're used to it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, that's what happens. That's what
Becomes
happens.
an expectation. We expect it.
Hmm. Yeah,
We
and
expect it, which is okay because we have that much faith and confidence. But sometimes it's okay to sit back, because we beat ourselves up. So we can't take the credit. We don't do the healing. I move the bone. God does the healing. Blah, blah, blah. But if you're not ready and prepared and trained,
yeah,
you're not going to help that person. You're not going to have the tools to release that subluxation properly at the right place at the right time to free them up to do the healing.
uh, yeah, and what you've told me a lot of times when we start talking about all these people getting better, are we obsessed with the outcomes or is it obedience to the process? Obedience to the process will always win out.
Always
Because if the
wins.
process is there, if the system's there, if what you've built in Connecticut you're replicating in 6, 7 other offices in different states, the outcome's got to be the same when you get the process.
And let me tell you something. Another thing I'm learning about human beings, right? Is you got to be willing to go through the process and stay humble and realize where you came from. We can't get cocky and become bigger and better than the process or the mission because it might serve you for the moment, but you're going to take it in the ass at some point when like it catches up to you.
Yes.
And it's one thing to learn to step out and do this, but it's another thing to humbly be
Mm-hmm.
serving for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't all of a sudden become an entrepreneur or have all the answers and break off and think you have all the answers. Because once that ego creeps in, man, you're in trouble. You're
Yeah.
in trouble. So we have to stay humble and obedient, like we always talk about, to the source. It's like all the time. Like when I got off the phone with that guy and then we were talking about him with the Bell's palsy, and I was driving home and I'm like, man, thank you, God. Like that's awesome. Like you can't make this stuff up. But the thing is every chiropractor has this opportunity if they develop the right mindset, surround them with the right people, and learn the how to do it. They all have it, and that's what we talked about at DE this past meeting.
Yeah, and it's just like you were saying, just staying humble and contrite. Humility, humility. One of the most successful chiropractors I know, he's passed away now, Dr. John Boutwell. I believe he came up to your first event with Band of Brothers up there. And, he's always, and I say it at least once a week, he would always say, like, I don't know what's going on. I know how to remove interference because I can't even keep soup off of my tie.
He
You know,
was one of those speakers that I cried every time I listened to him speak. And when he came to Connecticut and I picked him up at the airport, he said, Judson, bring me to your office.
hmm
So I bring him to the office and he was blown away. Like it was, and then he said, can I film this space? And
hmm
I'm like, and I'm being real humble. Like, and he goes, Steve, he goes, you got to show this. You got to get this on. You got to share this. And I'm like, Doc. He goes, what? You're afraid of looking like you have an ego? And he's not talking like me. He talked in a very sweet Southern, and he said, I want to show this to my kids. And he said, the profession needs to see this. He needs to see what the mission and listening to the voice within has created.
Yep.
And the more they need to realize they can do this too. And I was humble, man. Like I'll never forget that because I know I'm not smart enough to create all that. I know it was God's mission to serve people on a higher level because I'm just not that freaking smart,
hmm
you know. A guy asked me today, do I call you Dr. Judson, Dr. Steve? I said, you call me Steve. And it was that pastor guy.
Hmm.
But Boutwell was the first one that said, you got to start making videos. And I didn't do it. I waited a couple of years, man, because of just trying really hard to be humble and, do my own thing. But I get what he is saying now. He's
Hmm.
passed on, but it's like you see the direction the profession has gone with these meatheads doing all this crap that's not chiropractic and becoming physicians and their ego with all the stuff that we see. Stick to the principle, stick to the plan, be a
Hmm.
chiropractor, take care of the people, get results, and your life will be amazing.
Yeah, and just be content in that. I don't mean content in where you're at. Try to grow, try to get better, but we're not going to be all things to everybody. We don't need to
Right,
be. We need to
right.
be the best chiropractor that we can be for our community and for the state that we live in. And I say
That's right.
state because we have people, and you do too,
Yeah,
driving from all over, passing 30 or 40 chiropractors to get to where we're at.
yeah.
You
One of the
know?
biggest things, I was talking with our new doc last week is I had to do years ago at JFC
Hmm.
is not look at where people were coming from because they were coming from far. And if I thought they needed to start it twice a week, if I knew they were coming from New York or Massachusetts, Rhode Island, I would feel bad. But then I realized they came here for a reason because they want to get better. And if this
Hmm.
is what's going to take, then the couple hour turnaround drive is going to be worth it for their life. So I
Yep.
wouldn't even look at where they were from and just give my best recommendation. And we just had a guy come in. He's coming from far. He drives an hour one way. And
Hmm.
one of his friends, these people are all talking. And I said, look, if you lived in this neighborhood behind me, this is what I recommend. And he's stuck with it. He came in today and he's like, Doc, this stuff works. And he brought his wife in as a new patient. He just walked in. He goes, can you start seeing her? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, Doc, this just works. I'm like, yeah, yeah, this stuff works. Chiropractic works. The body heals. It's amazing.
Yeah, and if you want to drive a few hours round trip, that's great. You can listen to the radio, you can listen to the podcast, you can listen to this podcast and get locked in on what real health is. Sometimes we entertain ourselves to death. It's okay to sit in the car and go drive for a while.
I love driving with nothing on. Me
Yep.
and Kane were driving, and he says, how do you drive with nothing on? I said, I'm hearing everything right now.
Hmm.
I don't want any noise. And we were talking about the voice within and listening for ideas and the thoughts and just letting my brain just kind of flow. And he was just listening, right? I mean, someday it'll mean something to him. Someday he'll understand, maybe not right now. And then there's times I'm driving with Metallica blasting and the windows open. You pick your moments.
Yeah, it's not you're just not in a state of zen all the time going on.
It's not reality.
No, but it's okay to have those moments. I know when our sweet friend Dr. Denise Dobbs passed away and flew out to that's Kansas, yeah, Wichita, where
Yeah.
they were from us. It's like 2.5 hour flight, and just I don't know. You get it, and I hope anybody listening gets it. Flying out there, I didn't put in my headphones. I didn't turn on the screen to the TV. Anything. I didn't look out the window. Kept my window down, and I just raw dogged it. Just sitting there thinking about her life, her kids, her husband Ryan, and how fortunate her being in their lives have been. And then I did the same thing coming back. And you would be amazed at how quick a 2.5 hour flight is when there's no entertainment, Just amazed. Just
Peace.
so,
It's a peace. Get rid of the noise, man.
yep, yep,
Listen, your life is the Olympics. It's like you don't have to jump on a plane. I've done it, and I think everyone should do it and go to another country to be on a mission trip. Your mission trip is your community. Like, serve, do it, love people, be that person. There was a big football game last night, and all the stuff going on around it is like such a waste of energy and time. And
yeah.
I went to a friend's house and watched it, and you hear the conversation and all the garbage that's going with it. Like it's a freaking football game, man. Like who cares? Like
And
I
they
got
get,
people to take care of.
yeah, and they get paid way too much for the entertainment that they give us. I don't care. That's just how I think.
That's all right.
But and they only get paid that much because of society. Like it's us that causes that. I don't know, man. I didn't watch any of it. I did for about 5 minutes, like on my time, not clock time. And
Right.
I'm like, I have stuff I want to do. I want to read. I got some like I just want to chill a minute. It's before Sunday before we get back to work on Monday. I
That's
want to
right.
prepare,
That's right.
and that don't mean I'm busting weights in the gym preparing. I'm just getting quiet, winding down, make sure that all my clothes are ready for the week. I don't have to get stressed of the mornings, think about what I'm going to wear. I just grab something. It's just one less thing to think about where I can get focused on serving people.
I committed to do the 49 breaths 3 times a day at DE. And this morning I had a bunch of stuff going on, and I was doing the 49 breaths on the way to the office, driving in my car. And another thing I've been doing is, I have a buddy of mine, two of them that are really, Matt Alvord and Ed Gigliotti have me back doing the rosary as part of my connection, right? I have a real
Mm-hmm.
big connection to the Blessed Mother. I mean, whoever's listening to this is just one of my things, and I have a heck of a story about it, but that's for another time. So I'm driving to work, and I'm just asking God for guidance, for peace, to help me get rid of the noise, to help me stay connected, keep me healthy, because I got work to do, and I want to serve His people. And I'm doing the rosary and the 49 breaths as I'm driving. And I come up to a light. There's a beat up red pickup truck with two pretty weathered workers in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm pulling up behind them, on the back of their window was a big sticker of the Blessed Mother. And I just laughed like you just did. I said, thank you.
Yep.
And I kind of pulled up to the light and I was ahead of them. And I think the guy saw me kind of slow and look. And then I rolled down the passenger window and I was going to say something to him. I was going to say, thank you. Like, that just helped me.
Yep.
And he kind of looked at me quick and looked away and he was talking to, and then I just rolled the window up. So I wanted him to know, like, what made him put that sticker on there. But it was that moment in time. What are the odds of this truck? And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know how I would have said it. And maybe they spoke English. I don't know. But I was grateful at that moment because I felt like it was a sign that everything is okay.
Yeah.
And when you get quiet, man, and you allow that space in your life, in your heart, and like we were talking about DE and that blue ball of light in your sternum, the
Mm-hmm.
spirit, signs will come. And that was a sign, man. That was a sign like, okay, everything's okay. Like
Yep.
we're on the right track. We're on the right track.
Yep. And if we're in tune, we're connected, we pay attention just a little, we see more and more signs
Yeah.
through the day.
Amen. Amen. So let your life be the Olympics, man.
Yep.
Let those circles and those areas of your life be your rings that you're working on, that you're putting your energy into, surrounding yourself with the right people to help you, as silly as it sounds, win the gold in your own life, man. Lose yourself in service, loving on people, whatever you walk in life. And some of you listen to some chiropractors, but what can you do to make someone else's life better?
Just the little things,
Mm.
just the little things. Put in the work, put in the effort, do the discipline, do the hard things. And I guarantee you, the greatness is quiet before it's ever loud.
Drop the mic, brother. We'll end it right there, man. Love you, pal. Great
Yep,
message, bro. Great message. And everybody share this with your friends. Let's spread the word and let's make people's lives better.
yep. Love y'all.